The sour truth. Hello, science fans. Ever bitten into a lemon and your face just puckered up? Zing. That sour taste, that tangy sensation, well, that's often the work of an acid. Acids are a fascinating group of chemical compounds that are all around us, in our foods, in our homes, and even inside our own bodies. They are one of the fundamental categories in the world of chemistry, playing crucial roles in countless natural and man-made processes. Understanding acids is like getting a secret decoder ring for a big part of how the world works. So let's dive in and explore these remarkable substances. Now, what makes an acid an acid? From a chemistry point of view, acids are substances that produce hydrogen ions, H+, when they are dissolved in water. Think of these hydrogen ions as tiny little messengers of acidity. The more hydrogen ions a substance releases in water, the stronger the acid usually is. These ions are super reactive and are responsible for many of an acid's characteristic properties. It's not just about taste. Acids can also be corrosive, meaning they can wear away or dissolve other materials like metals or even stone over time. It's pretty powerful stuff, wouldn't you agree? You've probably encountered many acids without even realizing it. That tartness in your orange juice, that citric acid and ascorbic acid, also known as vitamin C, the vinegar you might put on your salad, that contains acetic acid, which gives it that sharp smell and taste. Even the fizzy bubbles in your soda come from carbonic acid, formed when carbon dioxide dissolves in water. These everyday examples show us that acids aren't just scary chemicals in a lab. They are part of our daily lives, adding flavor to our food and performing important functions. So, to sum it up, acids are defined by their ability to donate hydrogen ions. They often taste sour, but please don't go around tasting unknown chemicals. Safety first, always. They can react with metals and they play a huge role in chemistry. Remember that sour lemon? That's your taste bud saying, hey, there's an acid here. Understanding this basic concept is the first step on our amazing journey into the world of acid-base reactions. It's all about those tiny but mighty hydrogen ions doing their important work. All right, we've talked about acids, the sour side of chemistry. Now let's flip the coin and talk about their chemical counterparts, bases. If acids are the givers of hydrogen ions, then bases are often the takers, or they produce hydroxide ions, O, in water. These hydroxide ions are just as important as hydrogen ions, but they create a whole different set of properties. Bases are the yin to acids yang, working together in a chemical dance that shapes much of our world. They might not be as famously tangy as acids, but they are equally fascinating and incredibly useful. What are some telltale signs of a base? Well, unlike the sour taste of acids, bases often have a bitter taste. Think about the taste of unsweetened cocoa powder or tonic water. That bitterness can be due to basic compounds. Again, a reminder tasting unknown chemicals is a no-go zone for safety. Another very common characteristic of bases, especially strong ones dissolved in water, is that they feel slippery to the touch. This isn't magic, it's chemistry. The base reacts with the natural oils on your skin, creating a kind of soap-like substance. Pretty neat, huh? Just like acids, bases are all around us, often working quietly in the background. Baking soda, a hero in the kitchen for making cakes rise, is a base called sodium bicarbonate. Cleaning products, like drain cleaners or oven sprays, often contain strong bases such as sodium hydroxide, lye, or ammonia. These strong bases are excellent at breaking down grease and grime, which is why they are so effective for tough cleaning jobs. Even antacids, which people take to soothe an upset stomach, are bases designed to counteract excess stomach acid. So bases are substances that can accept hydrogen ions or release hydroxide ions into a solution. They typically taste bitter and feel slippery when dissolved in water. They are the chemical opposites of acids, and this opposition is key to some of the most important reactions in chemistry, which we'll get to very soon. From keeping our drains clear to helping us bake fluffy bread, bases are essential players in our daily lives and in the grand theater of chemical reactions. They are truly the cool, slippery partners to the zesty acids we learned about earlier. Now that we know a bit about what acids and bases are, let's become detectives. How can we spot them in our everyday lives? Sometimes it's easy, like the sour taste of a grapefruit clearly shouting acid here, or the soapy feel of a cleaning solution hinting at a base. But other times, they might be less obvious, working behind the scenes. Knowing their general properties can give us clues. For example, Many fruits are acidic. Lemons, limes, oranges, apples, and even tomatoes contain various acids that contribute to their flavor profiles and help preserve them. Consider your kitchen. It's practically a mini chemistry lab. Vinegar, as we mentioned, is acetic acid. Yogurt and sour cream get their tang from lactic acid, produced by bacteria. What about the pantry? Baking powder contains both an acid and a base, like baking soda, that react when wet to produce carbon dioxide gas, making your pancakes light and fluffy. Even coffee is slightly acidic. These are all examples of how acids are integrated into the foods we enjoy every single day, often contributing to their taste and texture in ways we might not even think about. On the base side of things, think about cleaning supplies. Soaps and detergents are generally basic. Their ability to dissolve fats and oils, making them slippery, is a hallmark of basic compounds. Ammonia, often found in window cleaners, is a common base known for its strong, pungent smell. If you've ever used an oven cleaner or something to unclog a drain, those are usually very strong bases, designed to break down tough, baked-on grease or hair. These powerful cleaning properties come from the reactivity of the base, its eagerness to interact with other substances. Beyond taste and touch, sometimes we can see acids and bases at work. Have you ever noticed how a cut apple turns brown? That's partly due to an enzymatic reaction that is influenced by acidity. Squeezing lemon juice, and acid on it, can slow down this browning. Or consider how some flowers, like hydrangeas, can change color depending on whether the soil is acidic or basic. These are all visual clues that tell us about the presence and activity of these fascinating chemicals. Learning to spot these signs makes you a more observant scientist in your own home. So, what happens when an acid and a base actually meet? Do they fight? Do they ignore each other? Nope. They perform a very special chemical reaction called neutralization. It's like a perfectly choreographed handshake or a chemical balancing act. When an acid and a base combine, they essentially cancel out each other's defining properties. The sourness of the acid and the bitterness and slipperiness of the base disappear if they are mixed in the right amounts. It's a fundamental concept in chemistry, and it's happening all the time, all around us. In this neutralization reaction, the acid donates its hydrogen ions, H+, and the base accepts them, or donates hydroxide ions, OH. These H+ ions from the acid and OH ions from the base love to get together. And when they do, guess what they form? They form H2O, which is plain old water. Water is neutral. It's neither acidic nor basic in its pure form. So the acidic part and the basic part combine to make something neutral. Isn't that elegant? Chemistry can be so tidy sometimes, organizing itself in these predictable and fascinating ways. But wait, there's more. Water isn't the only thing produced in most neutralization reactions. The other parts of the acid and base molecules, the parts that aren't the H+ or OH, also join forces. They combine to form a type of compound called a salt. Now, when you hear salt, you probably think of the white stuff you put on your French fries, which is sodium chloride. And yes, sodium chloride can be formed from the reaction of hydrochloric acid, HCl, and sodium hydroxide, NaOH, a strong base. But in chemistry, salt refers to a much broader class of ionic compounds. These neutralization reactions are often exothermic, meaning they release heat. If you were to carefully mix a strong acid and a strong base in a test tube, with proper safety gear of course, you might feel the test tube get warm. This release of energy is another sign that a chemical reaction is taking place, as new, more stable bonds are formed in the water and salt molecules. So, the big takeaway is, acid plus base equals salt plus water, often with a little bit of heat thrown in for good measure. This simple equation is a cornerstone of acid-base chemistry. Section 5, Introducing the pH Scale, Chemistry's Rainbow Ruler. We've talked about acids being sour and bases being bitter, but how do scientists measure how acidic or how basic something is? Is a lemon as acidic as, say, battery acid? Definitely not. We need a precise way to describe this, and that's where the pH scale comes in. The pH scale is like a special ruler for measuring the concentration of hydrogen ions in a solution. It usually ranges from 0 to 14, and it tells us exactly how acidic or basic a substance is. It's a super handy tool for chemists, biologists, and even gardeners. Think of the pH scale like this. A pH of 7, right in the middle, is considered neutral. Pure water has a pH of 7. It's neither acidic nor basic. Now, if the pH value is less than 7, the solution is acidic. The lower the number, the more acidic it is. For example, lemon juice might have a pH around 2, while stomach acid can be around pH 1, very acidic. This means these substances have a high concentration of those H+ ions we talked about. It's a logarithmic scale, which is a fancy way of saying each whole pH value below 7 is 10 times more acidic than the next higher value. On the other side of 7, if the pH value is greater than 7, the solution is basic or alkaline. The higher the number, the more basic it is. For instance, baking soda solution might have a pH around 9, soap can be around pH 10, and strong drain cleaners can have a pH of 13 or 14, very basic. These substances have a lower concentration of H+ ions and a higher concentration of OH ions. Just like with acids, each whole pH value above 7 is 10 times more basic than the next lower value. This scale gives us a clear numerical way to compare different substances. So, the pH scale is our guide to the acidic or basic nature of solutions. 0 is extremely acidic, 14 is extremely basic, and 7 is neutral, like pure water. Understanding this scale is crucial because many chemical and biological processes are very sensitive to pH. Your blood, for example, needs to stay within a very narrow pH range to keep you healthy. Even the fish in a lake depend on the water having the right pH. It's a small number that tells a big story about the chemical environment. Section 6, pH detectives uncovering acidity and basicity. Now that we know about the pH scale, how do we actually measure the pH of a substance? We can't just taste everything. That would be dangerous and not very accurate. Scientists have developed some clever tools and techniques to act as pH detectives. One of the simplest and most well-known methods involves using pH indicators. These are special dyes that change color depending on whether they are in an acidic or basic solution. It's like chemistry's own mood ring, changing color to reflect the chemical environment. Perhaps you've heard of litmus paper? Litmus paper is a classic pH indicator. It comes in two colors, red and blue. Blue litmus paper turns red in an acidic solution, and red litmus paper turns blue in a basic solution. If there's no color change, the solution is likely neutral, or the paper is not sensitive enough for very weak solutions. It's a quick and easy test, though it doesn't give you a precise pH number, just a general idea of acidic or basic. It's a great first step in our pH investigation. For a more detailed color guide, scientists use something called a universal indicator. This is a mixture of several different indicators, and it produces a whole spectrum of colors depending on the pH. It might turn red in a very acidic solution, orange or yellow in weakly acidic solutions, green in neutral solutions, and then blue or purple in basic solutions. You can compare the color to a chart to get a more specific pH value, perhaps to the nearest whole number. It's like a chemical rainbow that tells you the pH. Some plants, like red cabbage, even contain natural pH indicators that change color. For the most precise pH measurements, scientists use an electronic device called a pH meter. A pH meter has a special electrode that is dipped into the solution. This electrode measures the electrical potential related to the hydrogen ion concentration and then displays the pH value digitally, often to 2 decimal places. This is the gold standard for accurate pH readings in laboratories, used for everything from scientific research to quality control in industries like food production and wastewater treatment. So from simple paper strips to sophisticated electronics, we have many ways to uncover the secrets of acidity and basicity. Section 7. Acids and bases inside you. Your body's amazing chemistry. Believe it or not, your own body is a bustling hub of acid-base chemistry. These reactions aren't just happening in beakers in a lab, they are essential for life itself. One of the most famous acids in your body is hydrochloric acid, found in your stomach. This powerful acid, with a pH between 1.5 and 3.5, plays a crucial role in digestion. It helps to break down the food you eat, especially proteins, and it also kills many harmful bacteria and viruses that might have hitched a ride on your meal. Your stomach has a special lining to protect itself from this strong acid, pretty clever engineering by nature. Then there's the delicate pH balance of your blood. Your blood needs to stay within a very tight pH range, typically between 7.35 and 7.45, which is slightly basic. If your blood pH goes too far outside this narrow window, either too acidic, acidosis, or too basic, alkalosis, it can cause serious health problems. Your body has amazing built-in systems, called buffers, that work constantly to keep your blood pH stable. These buffers can absorb excess H+ ions if things get too acidic or release H+ ions if things get too basic. It's a constant balancing act to maintain homeostasis. Many of the enzymes in your body, which are like tiny biological machines that speed up chemical reactions, are also very sensitive to pH. Each enzyme has an optimal pH range where it works best. If the pH becomes too acidic or too basic for that particular enzyme, its shape can change and it might stop working properly. This can affect all sorts of vital processes, from how you get energy from food to how your cells communicate. So, maintaining the correct pH in different parts of your body is absolutely critical for all these tiny workers to do their jobs effectively. Even your breath plays a role in managing your body's pH. Carbon dioxide, which you exhale, can dissolve in your blood to form carbonic acid. If your blood becomes too acidic, you might start breathing faster and deeper to expel more carbon dioxide, which helps to reduce the acidity. Conversely, if your blood is too basic, your breathing might slow down. This is another example of how intricately your body systems are linked to maintain that crucial acid-base balance. It's a beautiful example of chemistry in action, keeping you alive and well every single second. Section 8. Acids and bases at work, from kitchens to factories. The usefulness of acids and bases extends far beyond our bodies and into countless aspects of our daily lives and industries. Let's start in the kitchen again. We've mentioned vinegar, acetic acid, for salad dressings, but it's also used in pickling to preserve food, as the acidic environment inhibits bacterial growth. Lemon juice, citric acid, can prevent fruits from browning and is used to curdle milk to make cheese or buttermilk. Baking soda, a base, reacts with acidic ingredients like buttermilk or brown sugar to produce carbon dioxide, making baked goods rise and become fluffy. Cooking is chemistry. In the world of cleaning, acids and bases are powerful allies. Toilet bowl cleaners often contain strong acids like hydrochloric acid to dissolve mineral stains and kill germs. On the other hand, as we've discussed, oven cleaners and drain openers frequently use strong bases like sodium hydroxide, lye, to break down grease, fats, and hair clogs. Even laundry detergents are formulated to work best at a specific pH, often slightly basic, to help lift dirt and stains from fabrics. Understanding their properties helps us use these products safely and effectively. Industrially, acids and bases are workhorses. Sulfuric acid is one of the most produced industrial chemicals in the world. It's used to make fertilizers, which help grow the food we eat, and it's also used in manufacturing detergents, plastics, synthetic fibers, and even in processing metals and refining oil. Strong bases like sodium hydroxide are essential in making soap through a process called saponification, where fats react with a base, paper, and textiles. The production of so many goods we rely on depends heavily on controlled acid-base reactions. Acids and bases even power some of our technology. Think about car batteries. Traditional lead-acid batteries, which start most gasoline-powered cars, contain sulfuric acid. The chemical reactions between lead plates and the sulfuric acid generate electricity. Other types of batteries also rely on acid-base principles or related electrochemical reactions. From keeping our homes clean to producing essential materials and powering our vehicles, acid-base chemistry is truly a cornerstone of modern society, driving innovation and enabling countless processes that shape our world. Section 9. Why this all matters. The power of understanding acid-base reactions. So, we've journeyed through the realms of sour acids and slippery bases, explored their reactions, and peeked at the pH scale. We've seen them in our food, in our bodies, and in giant industrial plants. You might be thinking, okay, Bill, that's all very interesting, but why does understanding acid-base chemistry really matter so much? Well, it matters profoundly. This knowledge isn't just for scientists in white lab coats. It empowers us to understand and interact with the world around us in a more informed and safer way. It's fundamental science with far-reaching implications. Consider your health. Knowing about your stomach acid helps you understand digestion and why certain foods might cause discomfort. Understanding blood pH highlights the incredible balance your body maintains and why certain medical conditions need careful management. Even choosing the right antacid or understanding a doctor's advice about diet can be clearer when you grasp basic acid-base concepts. This knowledge can help you make better decisions for your well-being and appreciate the complex chemistry that keeps you going every single day. It's personal science. From an environmental perspective, acid-base chemistry is crucial. Acid rain, caused by industrial pollutants like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides reacting with atmospheric water to form acids, can harm forests, lakes, and buildings. Understanding this helps us develop strategies to reduce pollution. The pH of soil is critical for agriculture. Different plants thrive in different soil pH conditions. Farmers adjust soil pH using substances like lime, a base, to improve crop yields. Knowing this helps us be better stewards of our planet and manage our resources more sustainably. Ultimately, understanding acid-base reactions is a key to unlocking many other scientific disciplines and appreciating the interconnectedness of the natural world. It's fundamental to biology, medicine, geology, environmental science, and of course, all branches of chemistry. It helps us solve problems, from developing new medicines and materials to cleaning up pollution and cooking a delicious meal. So, the next time you squeeze a lemon or use soap, remember the amazing acid-base chemistry at play. Science is all around us, and understanding it makes life a whole lot more fascinating.